Hey, this is Warren Redlick with a quick Tesla update. Just a little piece of news that I thought was interesting. By the way, I'm wearing the Tesla Man t-shirt, which you can get at elonbits.com. We also have all kinds of merch, other t-shirts, stainless steel water bottles, and so on. But let's dive into this. Sawyer Merritt tweeted, South Korea battery material supplier L&F Co. Limited said on Tuesday it has won an order worth nearly $3 billion from Tesla to supply cathode materials. And note this runs from January 2024, next year, through December 2025. So it's a 2-year supply agreement. This is going to matter in a second. I looked up L&F. There was an article in the Korea Herald. My read of this article that L&F produces nickel-rich cathode active materials for batteries made of nickel, cobalt, manganese, and aluminum. That fits. Tesla makes nickel, cobalt, aluminum batteries as their main battery with Panasonic. We don't know the mix of materials going into the 4680 cells. Nickel, very likely. We know they're trying to get rid of cobalt, but maybe they haven't completely gotten rid of cobalt yet. Maybe they are using cobalt. It's unclear. It also says that the company is starting to produce single crystal cathode materials. This is something Jeff Don has talked about. Jeff Don is a battery researcher at Dalhousie University in Canada who is contracted by Tesla to do battery research for Tesla. And he has talked about single crystal materials, that's added advantage to manufacturing batteries to get longer life and better performance overall for batteries if you use single crystal materials. So this is a supplier that's on the high tech edge in terms of battery materials of what Tesla needs for what it's trying to do. Now, one thing this makes me wonder is, does this make Giga South Korea more likely? I don't think this makes Giga South Korea more likely. LG Chem is building a factory to make 4680 cells in South Korea. Presumably, 4680 cells will be going to Tesla because no one else is using 4680 cells so far. I think the LG Chem factory is likely to lead to Tesla building vehicles in South Korea, or somewhat likely to indicate that Tesla's going to build vehicles in South Korea. Similarly, Panasonic is building 4680 cells in Osaka, Japan, or outside of Osaka, Japan. I've long said that Tesla needs to have a Giga Osaka, so that may be coming. We may learn about this on March 1st. But I don't think this announcement does because these materials would go into Tesla battery production. As far as we know, Tesla is planning to make batteries in the United States. And with the Inflation Reduction Act, it appears that battery materials coming from South Korea would qualify to allow Tesla to make batteries with these materials, shifting away from battery materials from China, and that would qualify them for tax credits under the Inflation Reduction Act. So I still think Giga South Korea is going to happen, but I don't think this pushes towards Giga South Korea. Now, where does this take us? I want to take us into napkin math. My napkin math on this, roughly, the cost of a battery pack is about 1/5 the cost of a car. If a car is $50,000 and the battery pack is $10,000, it's a fifth. I think on average, it's probably less than 1/5 of the cost of a Tesla car, but I'm not 100% sure. If it's $100 a kilowatt hour at the cell level and you have an 80 kilowatt hour pack, you've got $8,000 of battery cells. As far as I know, battery cost is actually higher than $100 a kilowatt hour right now. It may be that with Tesla doing their own 4680s, they're able to get the cost below that. I've even seen numbers higher than that, like 125. So if you got to 125 on an 80 kilowatt hour pack, you'd be in the ballpark of $10,000. On a 60 kilowatt hour pack, you'd still be closer to $8,000, but those vehicles sell for less. So ballpark, and again, these are ballpark numbers, napkin math, 1/5 the cost of the car. And I did a little bit of research, and I think we're in the ballpark of saying that the cathode materials are about half the cost of the battery. I think it's actually less than half the cost of the battery. I'm seeing 40%, but to be safe, I'm going to call it 50%. So that would be 1/10 of the cost of the car is the cathode materials. So if this agreement is for $3 billion worth of active cathode materials and 10x that for the value of the cars that are sold, the price of the cars that it's sold, we're talking about $30 billion of cars over a 2-year span, so $15 billion a year from just one battery material supplier. This doesn't include the batteries from Panasonic. This doesn't include batteries from LG Chem. This doesn't include batteries from CATL. This doesn't include batteries from SK Innovations, any other Tesla suppliers, maybe Samsung. So just on Tesla's own production with just one supplier of cathode materials, we're talking about $15 billion a year in revenue on vehicles. For context, Tesla's revenue for 2022 was about $80 billion, $82 billion. So this is a pretty substantial agreement. My guess is that Tesla is working on more battery material supplies from other suppliers. They may already have other agreements. We know about this one. That doesn't mean there aren't other ones we don't know about. We know Tesla has a lithium refinery. Also, there was a reference in the document. I can't find it, but I think it was in the notes below. There was a reference to the lithium price might change. The pricing might change depending on what happens to the price of lithium. So it may be that they're also supplying lithium to Tesla, even though that's not in the list in that article. Lithium may be included, and the pricing of this contract may change depending on what happens with the price of lithium. So what's the cost of the lithium in the battery cell? What effect does that have on the napkin math? I'm not sure, but I think we're in the ballpark of correct if we say that this is going to lead to a total of $30 billion of vehicle sales over the 2 years, 2024 and 2025. It's a good ballpark. Now, when I say $15 billion in sales a year, in 2023, I'm expecting Tesla to do $120 billion of revenue, and in 2024, I'm expecting Tesla to do maybe $180 billion of revenue. So the 15 billion in revenue is more than 10% of Tesla's revenue. The 30 billion over $300 billion over those next 2 years is about 10% of Tesla's revenue. That's a ballpark. So this is a really significant agreement for Tesla. Look for more of these coming. We may not hear about all of them, but these are exciting. This is great news. Significant agreement for Tesla for the next 2 years at least. Really important stuff. Please check out the t-shirts, the Tesla Man t-shirts at elonbits.com. I like this one, royal blue in the premium fabric. I mostly prefer the tri-blend fabric, but the premium blend is good for this particular shirt. And I do have other shirts in the premium blend, and I do like that as well. So please check out the t-shirts and the other merch like the stainless steel water bottles at elonbits.com. Check out my other videos. Please support me on the local platform on Patreon or as a YouTube channel member. Links to all that in the description below. Please like this video, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.